Cameras on. Whenever we're live. Miss Monica, do we have minutes from?
We do.
Okay. I know everybody read the minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Motion to accept. Second.
Okay, Joyce seconds it. Ruth, any corrections to the minutes? Any corrections to the minutes? Minutes will be accepted as presented. Miss Monica, you're up.
Okay, thank you, Fausto. I'm sorry. Fausto?
Oh, yeah, you want to do roll call, make sure we have a quorum? Sorry.
Yes.
Where is everybody? I don't know. Where's
Bruce Reese,
Here.
Joyce Reese,
Yes.
John Hess. Here. Maureen Deviere.
Here.
I must go to page 2.
I don't know.
David Fornes, John Gray, Bobby Levin, Michael Zaslow,
Hold about a trust. Well, we can't do.
Fausto Fabro,
Here.
David Boas is here, Patricia Caputo, Dominic Barnazio, Stuart Richland. Here. Joanne Robinson.
Here.
Jerry Sutowski. And we have with us 7 guests, and we do have a quorum.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, they're on the
thank you.
farm trip. That's why. Yeah, that's right.
Please keep the chatter down, we're recording. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This morning, we're looking at your statement of operations for the 11 months ended September 30th. For the month, we had $551,000 in revenue, $503,000 in expenses, so we have a profit for the month of $48,000. Year to date, our total revenue was $1,164,000. Total expenses, $6,389,000, which brings us to a loss for the year of $225,000. We had budgeted a loss of $480,000, so that gives us an actual positive surplus of $255,000. If you look down the right side of your page, in the revenues, you'll see we're under your social activities. Year to date, we're over budget $45,000, which is a terrific thing. We're under budget $17,000 for miscellaneous income, which is primarily due to the decrease in the number of units that are being sold in the community, resulting in our estoppel letter income. Interest income, we're over budget $21,000, which is obviously a good thing as well. Down the expenses, every category except 2 are under budget year to date. Repairs and maintenance year to date, we're over budget $55,000. And your ID photos and tags office, we're over budget $3,300 for the year. The bottom is your social activity summary. You'll see for your theater income for the month of September, $4,633. For your theater, dance, and movies expense, we spent $7,185, so we have a loss for the month of $2,500. Year to date, between your theater and dance income, we collected $278,000. We spent $310,000 for theater, dances, and movies, so it's a loss of $33,000. We had budgeted a loss for the year of $85,000, so that is a positive surplus of $52,000. Any questions? Okay. The next report is your cash summary. Also, as of September 30th, our total operating funds are $696,000. Our windstorm deductible funds are at $932,000, and our contingency infrastructure improvement reserves is at $319,000. So our total reserve funds $1,251,000. Total available cash $1,947,000. One of the things I did want to mention to you guys, I noted that we're over budget $21,000 in interest income. And one of the main drivers of that is you'll see under your windstorm funds, what is called a JP Morgan U.S. Government Fund with $280,000, and under your contingency reserve, a Goldman Government Fund of $317. These are government-backed securities in brokerage accounts, investment accounts with Bank of America. So I just want to bring to your attention that they're not FDIC insured like, all the other accounts that we have for $250,000. But that's where the rates are coming in at much better rates than what we're receiving on any of the traditional banks. So I just want to let you know that. Any discussion? Okay. Your next report is your social activities report, and this is for October. We only had 3 shows during the month. I assume that's probably due to the hurricane or the storm, bad weather that we experienced early in October.
There was a show canceled, so we had a movie instead.
Oh, it was a cancellation.
Saturdays, yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. So 3 shows, 537 tickets sold. We collected $3,480. After reducing that revenue for your audience view cost and your sales tax, our net sales were $2,904. We paid the performers $2,900. So we had a whopping profit of $4.52. But we more than made up for that for the Halloween dance. You'll see our Halloween dance. We had 294 people attending and collected $3,099. And we paid the DJ $360. So we had a profit of $2,300 for the Halloween dance. All right. As far as your movies go, there were 4 movies shown during the month of October. 458 people attended your movies. We paid $1,284 for the movies. So when you combine the 3 activities together for your theater, your Friday night dances, and your movies, we had a loss for the month of $80.69. Your next report is your revenue collected from guests. This is also through the end of October, so this is through the end of our fiscal year. As far as the sales goes year to date, we had $219,000 in theater tickets sold to residents and $84,000 sold to guests. Total box office sales for the year, $303,000. I added below what the numbers were from the previous fiscal year, just to give you a comparison. So it's a little bit of an increase. The percentages of guests to residents is very close to the same, but we had an improvement of around $13,000 in overall theater sales for the year, which is a good thing. As far as your number of tickets sold, 19,631 tickets sold to residents, 5,830 tickets sold to guests. Total tickets sold $25,461. Of that money, or those ticket sales, that equated to $17,490 in guest fees included in box office sales. Guest passes that were sold in the ID office, we collected an additional $35,772, and the guest passes sold in the ID office, $12,333. So total revenue generated from guests in this past fiscal year, $65,595. As compared to the prior year, $66,321. So it's about the same. Last report is your estoppel income. This is also through the end of October. You'll see a big dive in the month of October where we only sold 19 units in this community versus October of the prior year we sold 55 units. So year to date, 481 units sold in this community as compared to the prior year where 655 units were sold. We collected $103,000 from the Estapo income this year. Last year, we had collected $139,000, so that's a decrease of $35,000 or a 26% decrease.
Monica,
Yes, sir.
I ask this question all the time. What about the other Century villages? Have they had a drop in sales?
Absolutely. I'm seeing the same thing in all three communities.
Monica, could it be that there's less units to be sold? I know my building has had almost no turnover.
Yeah, I think the inventory is down significantly everywhere. I'm seeing a much bigger effect in Pembroke and Boca because in Pembroke Pines, every single building is 4 stories or higher. And in Boca, a majority of them are, so they're subject to the structural integrity reserve requirements and reserves. And between the increases in insurance and the reserves in those communities, they're looking at tremendous increases for their association fees. So that's putting a damper, I think, on a lot of the sales. Because when you're getting a 200 or 300% increase in your monthly condo fees, it's really, I'm concerned about the condo market in general in South Florida, what's coming down the pike. If the legislature doesn't make some changes, to maybe smooth out some of the timing with these new requirements that are post-Surfside requirements that have been put in place for all condominium buildings with 4 stories or higher. You don't have to be on the ocean. It doesn't matter where you are. In Pembroke Pines, that's way, way west, and it affects every single building in their community.
Thank you.
Any other questions? One other thing I did want to mention, I just received this a couple of days ago. I wish we would have known this when we were working on budgets, but I received a memo from FPL. Remember, they won't tell us till the 4th quarter what they're planning on doing with what their requests are from the PSC. And in addition to their normal request for whatever the percentage that may be, to the PSC that would be effective in January. They also said that they have asked to approve a temporary surcharge on customer bills next year to recover restoration costs from the 2004 hurricanes and to replenish their storm reserve that was primarily depleted by Hurricane Idalia the previous year. If the PSC approves this request, the charge will begin in January and will be an additional monthly charge on everyone's FPL bill through the end of December. No. They don't say what they're asking for. They're just giving us notice. It's probably coming. Yeah. But I don't know how much.
Definitely not what they're asking for. They'll get something.
Yeah. They usually do. They usually get what they ask for. That's it for me. If there are no questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan, you're up.
Okay, good afternoon. Little update on the lift station. It didn't start off as we wanted to, but I had a phone call this morning because they had a problem with one of the tanks that they were going to put in the ground. It was not proper. They had to reorder. They'll be out here on Tuesday. Okay, I think they gave you that notification. So Tuesday, they'll be starting with the lift station. The panel's in, everything should go, and this should be a day or 2 process because they can't have it down for such a long period of time. Okay, and this is for the back of the clubhouse. The other is Southampton Pool remodel. We ran into, of course, that we all knew that this could possibly happen, is the longevity of not doing that pool has caused a lot of deterioration of the wood studs, the copper pipe, anything that's metal behind that was completely gone. I have some pictures here that I'll pass this one around because this one's pretty tellable about what this, I don't even know how the tile was actually holding on because a foot of it was all gone on the bottom, but I'll pass that way. This one over here just shows the copper pipe, it has to be replaced, okay? Because there's no way that I'll put that back into the ground. So that's another change order of the copper pipe behind the wall. They had a situation with the drainage, but they were able to not give me, we worked it out so there wouldn't be a change order because they were supposed to use and utilize for the ADA bathroom, they were supposed to utilize the existing plumbing, okay? Unfortunately, the plumbing and the code requirements are changed from way back today, so the pitch, they wouldn't be able to have that pitch that they needed, okay, from the bathroom that we're putting in there in the first. So what they did is they ran around the whole building on the outside, okay? And with no charge to us, it's actually better because if they would have went down through the footers, it would have been a cost or more work to be doing that and more inspections. So they were able to get that trenching done all the way around. But when we were opening it up and to actually put this together, another problem existed where we were getting soap water coming through our drain. And code requires that every building has its own individual drain going out to the main septic area. But without causing any problems, I basically tied into the existing, but it looks like it's definitely coming from the condo that's across there, Southampton C. And I didn't want to cause any more finance, okay? So we tied it in, okay? And at least we know it's there. If there's a problem, we know that that's an existing. Yeah, well, it's fine that it ties into, it's not supposed to, code's supposed to require its own, but it ties into our drain, you know? And then it goes out towards the plaza that's on the other side. Remember, we were having that problem
We had a
with the
problem with the
plaza,
plaza
which
before.
they corrected all that because it was backfeeding to us. That's what was causing the flooding and the sewage and stuff in the past, 10 years ago. So, but I didn't want to, we tied it in and we left it alone. And it didn't cause any problem. That wasn't a major problem caused, but it's definitely the laundry facility that was dumping into that for that building, so.
Looks good, huh? A lot of construction.
Other than that, we are just waiting for inspections now from the county, okay, to move forward, so you might not see anybody there until we get that first inspection, and then it should go pretty smoothly after that. So I think sometime by the end of this week, after the holidays, because they'll be closed on Thursday and Friday, it'll start up on Monday for that inspection, okay? Any questions?
Yeah, Dan, did Florida make an allowance to use PEC inside the building rather than copper?
Yeah, in this case here, because of the size and all, and sometimes PEC, it is cheaper, but the amount of copper that I have to put in there was not, it was about the same,
No, but I'm talking
But
about
it is, yes. you
PEC
can.
should last 5 times longer than
Yeah.
copper.
But the problem that I have is that the top portion has to be replaced, okay? I don't know what it is underneath the ground, okay? Remember, we got a 60-year-old plus building, if
Okay.
not more,
I'm just asking.
But PEC is also more
Workable, yes.
to do, okay? But in this little piece, we put it back on top of it.
Okay.
Okay, because it was about the same, they just have to come up with other people with the tools that they have to use to put the PEC in place. And I needed more solid where I'm doing with the bathrooms and stuff like that, so. Yes.
Any guess on the additional cost?
At this point right now, I have one cost right now is somewhere in the neighborhood of about $3,000.
3,600.
And then the other will be the framing, because the framing in there doesn't even meet code either, okay? So the wood is all gone, so that will have to all be redone. And again, this is what happens with long-term periods not being able to do something.
We've been postponing
But I
it for
will have
8
that
years.
for, by the end of this week or before the holidays, I should have that by Wednesday, tomorrow. I'm pretty sure, right, that they're working on that to get the pricing on that for us. So it really, if you look at it, it's both sides of the bathroom, so the cost wasn't that crazily over, but I was surprised if that was metal studs, it would have been completely rusted out, probably the tile would have fell. It's the wood studs that kept that probably holding on, and the grout, good grout back then, to hold the tile in place. There was any other questions on that? There was another thing that was brought up to my attention, and I need to clarify this because I know it was David referencing the lighting, okay, at the pools or the pools being utilized to swim, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what your question? Okay, so, and I think there was a misunderstanding how this all went about. The first time this happened has to be about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, where's my other piece? Where they wanted to utilize the guest pool, okay, to be able to walk on or use at night, okay? The guest pool, of course, is a bigger pool, okay? We did do some calculations there, okay? The firm was Ray Schindler at the time with Design Consultants that took care of that, to be able to put the lumens that we needed to be able to utilize that pool if we wanted to swim or do the entertainment on that pool, okay? Now, if we want to check the other pools, there are signs up there that says from dusk to dawn, okay? And that is a state code requirement if the pool doesn't meet the sufficient lumens that it needs to for the pool, okay? That's including in the pool, okay? So if the new code today, I was just telling you, I just built a new pool in Pembroke Pines, and I had to put 4 light fixtures out there, okay? Because every corner of the pool has to have so many lumens, okay? In the case back then, it's like a half watt per square foot, okay? We don't meet that requirement with the lighting that we have on the outside lighting. So if you want me to go forward so that you could utilize the pool at night, okay? That means that, I'm not saying that you can't walk on the pools or walk around the deck, but you can't swim in the pools after dark. Okay? Because that is a code requirement. That's not me or us or anything else saying that. That is a code. Now, if we want to, we can get an engineer to do a study on that pool and see exactly what we would need if you want in the future. That's up to you to let me know.
Eva, I have a question. What would you gauge the demand is for nighttime swimming?
I think it's light. We have some people, they work, or they can't be out in the sun, but they're in the sun, so they'll wait to swim at night.
Talk to the mic, please, Eva.
Sorry, I say it's light. We don't have heavy usage at night, but we do have people, more and more people are working and, or have issues with the sun, so they'd rather come when the sun goes down. So I think we could see an increase over time, but right now I think it's light.
So I just want to read this thing out because it was just small. For night swimming, a pool must have a half watt per square foot of pool surface incandescent equivalent and a 3-foot candle of illumination on the pool. If no underwater lights exist or they don't meet half watt per square foot, you must provide 6-foot candles of illumination over the water surface and wet deck. The pool must be certified by an engineer and the letter must be submitted to the Board of Health. Okay, if we go forward doing that, which that's the process that we had to go through for that pool, the guest pool.
The lights have to be inside the pool as well?
If it doesn't meet the requirements that it says there, okay, some pools don't have lights, okay, that's what they're trying to tell you. But this is only in commercial pools, okay, commercial pools, this is what the requirements are, okay. So if it doesn't, again, the study would have to be, even if we have the lights that we have inside there, okay, we don't know if we meet this requirement, okay, and that's the only person that would be able to determine that is an engineer to give us a letter so that we could provide it to the Board of Health if we didn't want to move forward with the building departments to meet the requirements. Okay. So I will leave it to you if you want me to do that study. Of course, the
I
engineer.
think it should be tabled for now.
I agree.
Table it.
Okay. So I
But
just
if
wanted to
I'm
make
not,
clear.
if I'm not mistaken, I believe you also have to have somebody there physically to oversee if you have nighttime swimming.
A lifeguard?
No, I checked that out, that's not, if you have the sign saying swim at your own risk, things like that, or, it depends on, this is not a public facility, it's a private facility, okay? We don't meet, thank God we don't meet some of the, when we redo a pool, we don't have to bring it up to ADA, okay? Because we're a private, community. If we did, we would have to bring it up to ADA. And that means a ramp into the pool, the whole works, very big cost factor.
Turn it into
Just 2 questions. Will this be the only pool in Century Village that you're going to do this to?
It not doing it.
We're not, the only pool that's done right now that's lumined enough to be able to utilize at night is the guest pool, okay? And Hastings pool, that's thinking Pepper Pines. But, and Hastings, those are the two pools that have the sufficient lighting, okay, to be able to swim at night.
What about the other Century Villages? Do they have nighttime swimming also?
No, no.
So we would be the only one that would have it?
None of them have any kind of pool that's lit up at night,
Okay.
other than the indoor pool.
Which pool would you be expecting or having to check the lumens on to use? Camden, Camp? But,
That would be up to you, I don't make that
well,
decision.
I know, but I'm just saying, if they need to do, if they need another pool, we need to decide something to think about between now and the next meeting. Which pool would be conducive to being used? Which
Well,
one
the
would be
bigger,
more?
the bigger decks is gonna cost you more money, you know? You can them and, can't pool a big decks, okay, to be able to lumen that, to get those candlephots that they're requiring here. It'll be some expense like you just put out here for this guest pool. The smaller pools, of course, are gonna be less expensive, because they're smaller decks, you know?
Well, as a ballpark guess, what was the cost of this pool and what's the difference in the size?
I don't remember that, but I know it was thousands of dollars. I just don't know what it was, because that was all, you know, the poles that we had to put up there.
Been several years ago.
Yeah, and that was 10 years, at least 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Sorry, my memory's not going back that far, but it
Uh,
was an expense, that's for
So
sure.
the
It was not cheap.
demand don't seem to be
It was
that
over
high.
$10,000, let's put it that way, you know?
If we're gonna do a pool that's large enough to handle the demand in the future a little bit, if it gets to be more popular, rather than a smaller pool and then have to do an additional one later on.
Makes sense.
Something. to
That's
think
something the
about.
committee would have to, you know, bring up.
Right now, we're tabling this,
Right.
Okay.
and then if and when we determine that it's something that we'll do, the committee would decide which pool to get an estimate on.
Just a little bit of food for thought to be thinking about when it comes back around to discuss it again. Some kind of idea for discussion.
2026 sounds beautiful to me.
Well, our budget for this year's already set.
That's it.
That's it, we're done. So.
Okay, unless there's any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Remember I have the ID office closed, okay? We've been doing some testing in these particular offices. And remember that this particular office was not in the original contract of the air conditioning, okay? We run into some situations in there where we need to clean, okay, inside there, so we're getting costs together, okay, to be able to bring the facility back and also getting the air conditioning to where it's proper, so it wouldn't cause this problem again inside there, okay?
What's
Again,
the
that's
problem?
what's,
I'm sorry, what is the problem?
it was humidity problem inside there, okay, causing a very smell. A lot of residents were complaining, and including our employees. So we basically have moved them over to the
Ticket office.
ticket office.
Ticket
area
office
for
right now.
And we're working on getting that process of getting that taken care of and finding out the source exactly what to make this right when we open it back up again, so it doesn't cause an expense to us again. You know? Remember now, this particular area on that side, I've been finding out a lot of things. When we rebuilt this, you know, that used to be the barber shop, the beauty salon, all kinds of stuff that was in all, remember, that's all cast iron underneath there too. And on that corner where that problem is, I have a fire line, okay, that's on that side of the building, okay, that goes right next to that side of it. So we're hoping, we've had some problems there with leaks in the past, that maybe the leaks that were there in the past are causing some of this stuff, okay, because that's where the readings are getting high at, okay, that they're showing on this thing. So when we tear this apart inside there and clean it back up, and we can verify by looking at the wall, on the inside of the wall, to see if it's if there's any penetration from water or anything going on, you know. So that should be done sometime next week. We're going to be meeting with those gentlemen, and then we'll put a plan together and a cost together and get back to you. Okay. I think that's it for me.
Okay.
Eva, feels like a good time to drop this in. From last month's minutes, I reported that at the medical building, the new stormwater outfall pipe has been installed. The geotube was restored and the sod restored, and Yuko has been reimbursed for those costs.
Okay.
Right, for everybody to know.
Okay, great.
Nice job, thank you very much, Don. That was a great help to us.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, so just wanted to mention this. I'm hearing a lot from the residents. They really appreciate the drop in the coupon amount. But I had one that actually made something up and put it and sent it to me just to say thank you. They're really very appreciative, so you guys need to know that. You guys need to know that this lady was so appreciative. Yes, isn't that cute? So, yeah, all right. We have some issues with our picnic tables out on Picnic Island. They were here when I got here. I don't know how old they are, but they're starting to break. And I have a picture. If you were to go out there, there's about 4 that are compromised. And I think the wrong person sitting on them, they could go down. We tried to purchase just the seat portion, and they don't do that. They want you to repurchase the whole table. So we need 3 tables, and then we also need 2 bike racks. I can split these purchases up between the 2 months because we're looking at $2,500 a month expense. But we can save some money on the shipping costs. So the total, and I've got 3 different bids, the lowest bid for the 3 hexagon recycled plastic picnic tables and 2 bike racks come to $7,000. So I just wanted to ask permission to do this instead of splitting it up between several months. It's going to be spent anyway, but we can save some money on the shipping.
Are you sure you want to go with plastic? Because during the sun it gets hot.
You know, our hexagon tables are fine, but I agree with you. Those long tables also, and the longer strips of the plastic, they bow from the heat of the sun. We have to take them off and turn them the other way. So I would not do that again, but these are holding up just fine.
Okay.
This is just wear and tear.
Would you like a motion for that in the vote?
If you want to give me a motion, or
Would somebody make a motion? Ruth Reese makes a motion. John, you second it?
I'll second.
Okay. David?
I know we have a motion, but do we really need a motion on this? This
Yeah,
seems like it should be.
Because it's not a budget. It's not-
It
it's
seems
not-
like this is maintenance to me.
it is.
I don't think we really need a motion on this. That's up to you.
I would like to have a motion. And I
Okay.
have a motion and a second. I want to take a roll call vote.
The name of the vendor, Eva?
It's called Park Warehouse.
Park?
Park Warehouse.
Yeah, we bought it from them.
Have you? I think this is our first time, but they had the best pricing. I got prices from 3 different companies.
And the estimated cost?
$7,020.27.
And the motion was by,
Ruth Reese made the motion, seconded by John Hess.
To purchase,
let me read this back.
okay,
Motion to purchase hexagon tables and bike racks
yes,
for Picnic Island from Park Warehouse, estimated cost of $7,021.
Correct. Now, the tables are for Picnic Island, the bike racks we're gonna use elsewhere, but it's,
Okay, that's why I'm asking, because no one said anything different. So the bike racks are gonna go at a different location?
they are
How many of those?
2.
Motion to purchase 3 hexagon tables for Picnic Island and 2 bike racks for other locations in the village. From Park Warehouse, approximately $77,021. Ruth and John?
Yeah.
And we'll start with Ruth Dries.
Yes.
David Forness. John Gregg. John Hess.
Yes.
Bobby Levin. Joyce Reese.
Yes.
Michael Zaslow. Maureen Devigaire.
Yes.
Joanne Robinson.
Yes.
Jerry Sutowski. Stuart Richland.
Yes.
Dominic Bernaggia. David Boas, yes. Patricia Caputo. Fausto Fabro.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And that's all I have.
We already discussed the upgrading of the lights for the pools, right?
Correct.
Okay. Anything for the good of the order?
They have a microphone back there.
We're up to the good of the order. Anybody wants to speak now or forever hold your peace?
Do I have to stand? Can I sit?
Come on up. Come on up.
I can stay seated, right?
Sure.
Okay. Hi, my name is Frida Carmel. Hi, my name is Frida Carmel. I'm a unit owner and vice president of Somerset C. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. I stand here representing many concerned residents who are deeply invested in the quality, life, and safety of our shared community. We are grateful for the amenities provided, including the public pool, which serves as a centerpiece of our associations. However, there is a glaring issue that must be addressed: the complete lack of shade near this particular Somerset pool area. This not only affects comfort, but also poses significant health risks to the residents. It's widely understood that prolonged sun exposure increases the risk of skin cancer, a fact that should resonate with all of us, particularly given that even those among us who have faced this illness firsthand understand the critical need of prevention. I would like to introduce the founder of the largest cancer research and prevention organization called RCCS, who is with us today, Mr. Herschel Cohn. Not only is Mr. Cohn a leader in the fight against cancer, but they are also one of the proud owners and president here in Somerset C. This present and generous offer to cover the cost of planting bushes to provide shade highlight the urgency and importance of addressing this matter proactively. Yet despite the clear benefits and minimal barriers, this initiative has faced resistance from local management. Allow me to be clear: continued inaction on this matter may open the door to legal liability if a resident or guest suffers harm due to prolonged exposure of the lack of available shade, especially after these concerns have been documented and ignored. Those in decision-making position may be held personally accountable. We don't want this to escalate to that point. However, our goal is to collaborate in good faith and implement a solution that prioritizes the health, safety, and happiness of all residents. Let's act now and show that this community values not only its properties, but its people. I urge you to approve the planting of these bushes immediately, honoring the commitment to our community's well-being and safety. Let us work together to ensure this association reflects the care and respect we all deserve. Thank you, and now Mr. Cohn would like to say a few words.
Thank you, WPRF, UCO, and everyone here today. My name is Herb Cohn, and I live right here in Somerset Sea, directly across from Somerset Pool. I'm here today to reintroduce myself and share a vital concern. As the president of RCCS, the largest cancer research and prevention organization in the world, I have the privilege of working with top doctors globally. Through my work, one thing has become clear. Skin cancer is preventable if we take the right steps. Yet here we are in Florida, a state with one of the highest skin cancer rates in the country. And Somerset Pool, right in the heart of our community, has some of the least skin cancer protection in all of Century Village. Take a look around Century Village. Many other pools have already taken proactive steps to add trees and bushes. Creating shades and reducing harmful UV exposure. Why has Somerset, a public pool, fallen so behind? This issue is not about appearance, it's about health and safety. Skin cancer is real. The pain and the devastation it brings to individuals and families are something I have witnessed for too often. And yet, despite knowing this, how can we as a community stand by and do nothing about the clear lack of protection? For some time, I have been advocating for action on this issue. To ease the process, I even offered and personally fund this project, ensuring that it wouldn't burden the management budget or add cost for homeowners. Despite my willingness to cover every expense, my offer was turned down. This heartbreaking. In my life, I learned that money should never be a barrier to saving lives. This isn't about finance, it's about doing what's right, protecting the people of this community for potential danger. Every time someone uses this pool and later hears the devastating words from the oncologist, "You have skin cancer," that responsibility falls on management. You have the power to act now and make a difference. How can we live with the knowledge that we could have prevented this, but choose not to act? Today, I'm begging you, please, let's not ignore this any longer. Let's work together to ensure Somerset's pool provide the shades and protection that it so desperately needs. Let's make this the last time this issue comes up. To WPRF and UCO, thank you for all the hard work you do daily to manage this wonderful community. You have already accomplished so much, and I know you're capable of addressing this critical issue. Taking action now just to protect lives, it will also be a blessing of health and success to everyone involved. To the Century Village community, let's make Century Village a place we can all be proud of, the community that truly values the health and the safety of its residents. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. Any other business before?
Just want to say a word. Can we vote on this or something? Can we take a public opinion from
Well,
people over here or something?
we
How does it work?
We were thinking about it,
Yeah.
but we heard a single word in there that we now are not going to discuss. Yeah, go ahead.
Just point of order, we're in the good of the order section of our agenda. So our agenda is effectively closed. Good of the order is not a place where any item can be voted on. Essentially, the meeting has been adjourned, and good of the order is a time for free discussion.
Can we put it on the agenda for the next meeting?
That would be a decision made by the co-chairs.
No. I'm good. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.